Welcome to Little City Big Voices, a podcast where we share the real stories of those who love, empower, and champion children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities and mental health challenges. These are the voices of a community united by compassion, driven by purpose, and deeply committed to creating a world where everyone belongs. I'm your host, Rich Bobby, CEO of Little City. Little City's vision is to provide a place where everyone can feel included in their community, have someone they can call a friend, and continuously learn and build new skills. Episode 6 of Little City Big Voices is about Disability Employment Awareness Month. This is a time to celebrate the contributions of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and to highlight the importance of inclusive workplaces that welcome the talents of all people. Today, we're joined by Jenny Boland, our Director of Employment Services here at Little City. Jenny and her team work every day to help people with disabilities build their job skills and connect with employers in the community. We'll talk about what progress looks like in disability employment, the challenges that remain, and how businesses and communities can play a role in creating real opportunity for everyone. Stay with us. It's going to be a great conversation about inclusion, dignity, and the power of meaningful work. I am so excited to have with us today one of our superstar employees, Jenny Boland, who is our Director of Employment Services, who is going to take us through the journey of the world of employment for people who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. With that, Jenny, welcome.
Hello, happy to be here.
Glad to have you. Very exciting. So you've heard some of our podcasts. You know the format. Tell us about Jenny.
Super excited to be here. Jenny started off in this field a while back, actually. It's kind of a funny story. I was working as a manager in a grocery store, and there were job coaches that would come in and they would work with our baggers and some of our employees. And actually, one of the job coaches was Chris Lucenti, who I work with now. He's our operations manager for Employment First. And he was just kind of telling me about the job. And I watched him work with the individuals. And I was like, that's really cool. I really like that. And I loved working with the individuals as well. I saw so much joy that they brought to our team. And so I was curious about it. So I always had that kind of in the back of my mind. And then kind of crazy life situation happened. I lost my mom in 2016. So I was 24 years old. I was a manager in a grocery store. And I was like, I want to find purpose in life. Like, I had that in the back of my mind, like job coaching. That's cool. It's purposeful. Like, maybe I can start there. Circa 2018, I joined our sister organization, Clearbrook. And I started off as a job coach there. They call them job coaches. It was actually a program developed by parents, and they were individuals with very significant high needs. We would take them out and we would take them to different volunteer sites, and we would call ourselves job coaches because we were helping them develop skills and get out and into the community. So I worked there for a while. Got my human services degree. So I was going to school. I was working. COVID hit. So I had a lot of free time to get my schoolwork done. Graduated and kind of moved my way up at Clearbrook. And then I made some friends there. Some of my friends came over to Little City and happened to have a position open in employment services at Little City. So I kind of hopped over here, did a few different jobs here. So I was a coordinator for a program that we were trying to start. Didn't quite get it off the ground. And then I was job coaching for a while as a job developer on our team. And then as of a year or so ago, I am now the director. So that is how Jenny got started at Little City.
Very exciting, Jenny. You know, that's a really moving story, and just to share where you were at one point and working, call it like the daily grind of, I must say corporate America, but you know, you're a for-profit business, you know, managing a store, to being enlightened through just the natural experience of meeting individuals who have disabilities and just seeking out that like higher purpose. That's pretty impressive that you had that, call it like an aha moment or whatever you want to call it, and just really striving for like a greater purpose. Your story is interesting because you don't have a loved one who has a disability. Oftentimes you hear about that, or you might know somebody or growing up with someone who has a disability, but here you are, you got to see the actual impact that, in this case, Chris was making on individuals, and you're just like, "I like that. I wanna do
Mhm.
that." That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, like, what is you brought up job coaching, you've done job coaching. For the average person out there who does not have a clue what we're talking about, like, what does a job coach do? Because everyone could have a different definition of
Yeah.
a job coach. So from your lens, what is a job coach?
Yeah, and that's a good question to ask. I think truly the role, especially at Little City, is called job development
Mm.
because it encompasses a lot. Job coaching is a part of the job. So, job coaching is working directly with an individual at a job site and coaching them through their daily tasks at the job. Whereas job development is kind of a bigger umbrella term for everything that we do. It's kind of meeting that individual, understanding where their talents are, and helping them find the perfect job, the perfect position that they'll be able to shine in. So it's working with the individual, working with the family, working with our community, and really helping that individual find the perfect role for them. And sometimes even, you think it's a perfect job and then the individual starts working and then something changes or management changes. And then we have to come in again and work with the individual's community. And so job coaching is a part of job development that it really is just helping connect individuals with different types of disabilities to their careers, to their jobs, to work.
What's fascinating about what you shared, so one thing I'll pick up on is when you brought up working with the community. So this is bigger than just working with that individual who has an IDD. You're working with employers, business owners that really you're selling that not only does this person have skills, but they could actually help make them money. It's not just you're doing this good, kind work to help this, call it, the poor, innocent, vulnerable person with a disability, but rather we're flipping that script and saying like, no, this person actually has skills and they can actually make you money and have you be profitable and actually deliver your service or product to others in the community. Is that a fair statement, Jenny? Or
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think not only are a lot of the individuals that we serve super excited and they want employment. So they're good candidates for these community jobs because, compared to I guess you could say a neurotypical candidate for these types of jobs, they're eager. They whatever the job task is, they're eager to do it, whereas opposed to another individual who might just be doing it to make some money on the side while they're in school or something. Like they want that job. They're going to do a good job. And not only that is they really boost morale at the work site, kind of like how I experienced when I first, interacted with the individuals at the grocery store. It's like they bring joy, they bring excitement, not only to the team that they're on, but sometimes to customers. I'll have customers come and they'll be like, "Oh, can Tony be my bagger today? I just love talking to Tony." So they do so much good for businesses, for the community, for team morale at the business. We serve people of all different abilities and disabilities. Someone might be completely neurotypical, but have, hard of hearing or deaf. They can do a typical job. They just need help with supports to help them communicate with other people. It's us coming in and kind of advocating for those individuals and telling business owners like, hey, this person can do a really good job. Let me show you what they can do. We're that middle person to help businesses really understand that.
I really love that description, Jenny. The one thing you touched on, because I've heard this many times from you and from other folks that work in your employment team, is that this boosting of morale that you brought up. Can you share a story of one that comes to mind? Can you
Yeah.
give an example?
I can't think of like a specific example. I have other really cool stories to share, but I've heard feedback from employers just kind of in general about how they get excited to see certain individuals at work. And on a side note, we do a lot of volunteering in our day programs. And I know a lot of the people at the volunteer sites even talk about like when your team comes in, they bring us so much joy. So it's like a gift for us to invite you back. But can I go into some stories
Yeah,
about
go right ahead.
success stories?
Yeah.
Because we got a lot. So I talked to our operations manager. He's been doing this for 10 plus years. So he's had a lot of people that he's developed over the years, but he does self-employment cases. So he has a woman he's working with named Kelly, and she contracted malaria because she was teaching in Africa. So she developed this disability. I believe it's a physical disability, and she wasn't able to do like a regular teaching job. So she worked with the Department of Rehab Services. She got connected to Little City, and she and Chris developed this website. It's called Club Z Tutoring, and now she can help individuals through this website. I believe specifically she's helping young leaders develop. So people come to her for this service. She can do it from home, so she doesn't have to go out and worry about transportation and kind of fatigue. And we've helped her develop the website, and Chris has done things like this before with website creations. Now she's able to do the work that she's so passionate about despite her disability.
Wow.
Not only that, we've had another guy recently. He was really passionate about being an archivist at a museum in like a data center. Well, our team worked with him, and we tried to figure out what type of museums would be a good fit, and we kind of went all over. And then there's a museum in Naperville called Naper Settlement. So he was able to get the job there. He's working in a data center capacity. He does stuff with data. I know that's for sure. And he's thriving. He's doing a fantastic job.
Nice.
His family has talked about how much he's grown since he's got this job, and Little City helped connect him to that. And that's what we do. We work with the community, and we ask the questions. We go in and we advocate for the individual. And, no matter what the individuals are looking for as far as employment, we're that middle person that's helping them get there.
The key word I heard you say, Jenny, is connection.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, if you were to break down what do you and your team do day in and day out, it's making those connections. And it's making those connections with the community, with employers, business owners, and through that connection, everyone's benefiting. It's a win-win-win. And I say win-win-win because the individual's benefiting because they have this sense of pride and joy of doing something, and what they're doing is giving back to the community. So there's a win for the community, and of course there's a win for the employer because the employer is now also fulfilling their mission of giving back to the community. So it's
Right.
really connection, I hear, is the key word from you, Jenny. Touching back on the morale piece, I know I've heard stories of individuals we've served over the years, and one that came to mind as we were just talking here, the story of Howard working at the Twin Orchards Country Club in Long Grove. And I had actually had the fortune of talking to the general manager there, amazing individual who's now retired, but he had shared the joy that Howard brought and the work ethic he brought really challenged the employees. And it really challenged everyone there. Like, hey, Howard's here. Like, I got to work harder because I can't, be slacking off because Howard's working far harder than I am. And, here's Howard coming in with a smile, bringing joy, changing folks' attitudes. And I just got to imagine like that's a common theme, not to say with everybody, but certainly a common theme of how the folks we support really, they don't look at this as a job to them. This is the benefit they're getting from a social emotional perspective far exceeds just the paycheck alone. Would you agree with that or have other thoughts?
Yeah, I
on that?
agree. I think it's purpose. We all want purpose. I wanted purpose. That's why I changed my career. I think that is a desire for all of the individuals that we support. And, they have dreams and ambitions and things that they want to do in their life. As a provider, we can walk them along that path. We can help them get to the places that they want to get to. Howard's a great example, too. He was working there. I know it was before my time, but I heard all about it. And I know we do our golf outing there every year. And I had the opportunity to meet some of the people that Howard worked with. He came in there because he was like a greeter asked to volunteer in some capacity. And so I brought him in, and oh my gosh, everyone was, Howard! Yeah, buddy, welcome back. How you been? Like, they were so excited to see him. And it was cool for me to see too, because I was like, wow, he made such an impact on this team just by being who he was, right?
Yep, just being who he was, that's
So,
it.
and yeah, that's really cool. And Howard now has a job at the Cheesecake Factory in Woodfield, and he's still working there. And there's been a lot of management changes. We always get worried with management changes because it's like, okay, is this manager going to be as accommodating as the last manager? Are they going to understand what his needs are and kind of what situation he had before? But through each management change, he's able to make that connection with them. So he's been able to keep his job and sustain the work he's doing, which is good.
Howard is the example, is he's learned to adapt with those changes. It doesn't sound like it's your team coming in to save the day. It sounds like Howard's navigating that on his own. Where he's gained those skills is from your team. He's like learned how to have those social conversations and difficult conversations, maybe because he's learned those skills from job coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think an important thing to expand on there too is natural supports at a
Yeah.
job. That's also what we try to build because just like at a Twin Orchard Country Club, he had a team of people who were champion for him. People at the Cheesecake Factory might have done the same thing, like, oh, that's Howard. They're able to kind of help him get acclimated to new management as well. So that's what job developers also do is they try to create those natural supports. Who at your job is going to be a buddy for you to help advocate for you when we're not there to support you? So I think that that's another really important part that I haven't touched on in job development. It helps with the success in the placement is when the culture of the business can take on your individual and really champion them and advocate for them as a whole team. It's kind of an ongoing success.
I love it. And especially to what you're saying is it sounds like, again, a job developer is working on those skills of making those connections of who's your go-to person
Right.
and then get out of the way.
Right.
Like, so get
Right.
in and get out versus let's keep holding this person's hand, but really getting them on their own feet so that they don't need us. So in a sense, we want to work ourselves out of a job.
Right.
Is that accurate?
Yeah,
It
that's
sounds odd to say it that way,
completely.
but that's the goal.
No,
And we
yeah.
all know that there's so many individuals that need coaching and,
Mhm.
and the skills to work with most employers. And we have so many folks that we support who have the skills. It's just the convincing, especially in a competitive work environment, that, hey, this person brings, unique skills that maybe someone else that is also applying to the job would. How do we navigate that when, let's say there's a job opening at Culver's or Illuminati's, and they're getting many applicants, many folks interested in jobs. Because like once
Yeah.
they're in the door, then it sounds like employers see like the value that they bring to their business. How do we coach them to just get into the door in the first place?
I always hear a lot of job developers say you got to do the footwork, meaning you got to go to the business, you got to have that FaceTime, you have to meet the manager. I'm so and so. This is a person who's a good candidate for the job. And a lot of the time, like that's the biggest selling point.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing this person, they have support. That's another big sell is like we are kind of a support for the business that they don't have to pay for. We come along with the job candidate and we're there to support not only the individual, but also the business. We want the individual to be successful in the business. So we sell it to the business like, hey, this is only good stuff for you. We're not going to sell you a candidate that's not a good fit for the job. We want you to know that you're supported by us and we're supporting the individual. So you're winning.
Yeah.
But going back to what you said about being in the background to let the individual shine, we have to do that as we fade services. But also sometimes individuals will say to us, "I don't want you anywhere near me." I don't want people to think I have a job coach.
Yeah.
So then we're kind of in the background, and we're there for support, but we don't want to make it. We don't want to, hover over their shoulder and be like, you're doing this wrong or you need to do it this way, unless they absolutely need that from us. We want to respect the individual's preferences too. If they don't need us, then we won't be there.
Which, Jenny, I mean, that's really the true definition of empowerment.
Right.
Is like that is the goal. It's actually good to hear that. Stay out of my business. Let me do this. I got it. So that's incredible. You're certainly in the empowerment business in job developing and coaching.
Yeah.
So I cannot let you leave here without sharing more about you, who is, I'll say, uniquely advanced in what you're doing, but your many talents and skills include other things outside of employment. How'd you learn? Where'd you become inspired to lead our choir, to play guitar, sing, and get folks also engaged in like an official choir? I know that's not tied to employment, but I cannot have you leave this interview without asking you. So tell us
Oh
more
my
about this.
goodness. That's so funny that you bring that up. It all kind of started again with my mom because she was a musician. She played
Mhm.
the piano daily. I was homeschooled until I was in high school. So every morning I'd wake up and she'd be on the piano playing her songs. So music was always a part of my life. She pushed me. She's like, Jenny, will you please play an instrument? It would make me so happy. And I tried the piano. It wasn't a good fit. Then all of a sudden, the guitar, I saw someone playing the guitar and I was like, I think I can do that. I picked it up. I taught myself how to play. And then I just found so much joy out of it. And especially, when she passed away, one of the last things she said to me was, you got to keep music in the house. The joy that it brings me to be able to bring music into my job is just so amazing. I kind of grew my skills in playing the guitar. Music is a big part of my life. I did a lot of musical stuff at my other job. That's what I also loved about this field is you could bring all of your talents into it and it's beneficial for someone. So anyways, we had a need for a choir. I think Anne was trying to put together a Christmas choir, and there was a history of one of our individuals doing the choir. And so, I just was like, let's try this out. Let's see if we can get a choir together. I think we were trying to get a choir together for the client Christmas party because someone had asked us. And so that's kind of where it started. And then it just kind of grew from there, right? We have one of our participants plays and sings on the guitar. So I've given that over to him. So he now leads in song. But I thought that was so cool. He leads and sings and plays in the choir. And then the participants just love that outlet too. And then performing in front of people always gives them a lot of joy too. Yeah, it makes me really happy even though it's not really employment related, it brings me so much joy to be able to bring music into our program and be able to do that for the community.
Love it, Jenny. I had to ask. Ask.
I love it.
The part that have been so impressed with because I've had the opportunity to watch you grow professionally in your time here with us at Little City is that you hit on the head. You've brought your talents full circle to Little City. And those talents are not only sparking joy in the folks that you're supporting and that your team is supporting, it's again spreading and empowering them to gain more skills and to share and promote their own talents. Your talent is now leveraging their talent, so everyone's benefiting. So I'm delighted to see you just think outside the box, outside of even just employment. What else can I bring to the
Mhm.
folks that we support?
Yeah,
We're
I
just
appreciate
so
that.
delighted to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
So, Jenny, I'm going to ask this question is if you had to share some final words to someone who's out there who may have a loved one who is trying to navigate our system, trying to understand how do I get them linked to learning employment skills, where do they start?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, if your individual is looking for employment, start with getting referred to Department of Rehab Services. It's an online referral form, takes just a minute. You can get immediate funding and get connected with a job coach. Also, if you're not quite ready for community employment, we have a day program that's centered around employment. We help teach those skills. We have fun and engaging recreational activities, swimming and choir and all those things to help an individual really shine wherever their interests are. The first step would be open up a DRS referral, get connected to Little City. And then again, our campus, we have a day program for employment up in Grays Lake and also in Palatine. It's a waiver funded program. So if you have funding from the waiver, you can use that, or we do private pay options as well.
And in that program, what sort of resources do we have to offer when it comes to the environment of helping hone those skills from
Yeah.
like cooking to art?
Yeah, so we have the day program is Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Within that time frame, we have different volunteer sites we go to. We volunteer at a resale shop, and we do different tasks like pricing and organizing and cleaning so that individuals are getting those hands-on skills. We also have a puppy, Second City Canine Rescue in Palatine. We're cleaning puppy cages and they get to interact with dogs. And then the fire station. We do tasks at the fire station to clean and do other things. So that's that hands-on piece. We do cooking. So we have individuals learn how to make meals that are easier. The teacher instructs them how to chop vegetables so that they can be more independent at home. We teach independent living skills through our curriculum that we use. We try to teach how to clean your room, personal hygiene, kind of all those things that go along with independent living. Our new initiative now is we have some individuals that go off campus during lunchtime during the program. So kind of like when you're in high school and when you're a junior and senior, you can go off campus and get lunch and come back. So we're always looking for ways to grow those independent skills. We also incorporate the arts. We have an art program a couple days a week for individuals that are interested in art. We have swim groups that go out so they can get some exercise. We have an exercise room at our rec center. Our horticulture building, we have a group of individuals that get paid to work at horticulture and kind of learn, all that there is to learn about fruits and vegetables and nutrition and all those things. And then, finally we do a coffee cart on Fridays and we make coffee. The individuals get paid to make coffee and deliver it to their friends and people around campus. So we do a mixture of hands-on skills, independent living skills. We have a curriculum that kind of goes over what it is to be independent.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's not a boring day. For the most part, there's active days going each day, and every day might look different.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think our individuals would let them be bored. They want to do something constantly.
Yeah, and I especially appreciate that, when folks are out in the community, that they're contributing to the community. So
Yeah.
if they're going to a volunteer site or a dog shelter, they're giving back to the community. It's not
Right.
just, again, us bringing folks out in the community for folks to see people who have disabilities. Like, that could be part of it, but it's also like, hey, look at what people with disabilities can bring to our community as well.
Right. Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jenny. It's been truly a pleasure talking with you. And thank you for all you do for Little City. And the folks that we support are truly better off because of you.
Thank you, Rich.
Stay tuned for more voices, more stories, and more meaning. Visit us on our website at littlecity.org. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We're always looking for others to join our mission and share their time, talent, and treasure.
Little City is a nonprofit, for-purpose organization operating for more than 65 years, serving children and adults with autism, intellectual and developmental disabilities, and those experiencing mental health challenges. We offer services in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs, with our main service area located in Palatine, Illinois. We provide residential living arrangement services for children and adults, a therapeutic day school, adult community enrichment and day services, recreational services including amazing arts, horticulture, and special recreation services, employment services, foster care and adoption, and community mental health services. Visit littlecity.org for more information.